Hey everyone, it's your host, your friend, your fellow horror enthusiast Bruce Marvel here, bringing you another episode of the Marvel of Horror. And this episode is very special. Writer, educator, fellow lover of heavy metal, and my friend Dan Richmond stopping by, and we're talking all things about how heavy metal has the symbiotic relationship with the horror genre, always has, hope it continues to be. Some of the concerts we love, seeing horror bands like the Misfits, Alice Cooper, and one of his favorite horror bands synonymous with the horror genre, GWAR. So enjoy the show and remember, like, subscribe, leave your comments, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and again, enjoy the show. Thanks, everyone. If you can remember,
Yeah.
what was your first experience with the horror genre, or like what made you a fan?
I discovered like rock and roll, like rock music and stuff, and horror around the same time. So I'm 56 now, so I was a little kid in the 70s. So Famous Monsters magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So like, started, with comics, but then the Famous
we
Monsters
go.
was right there, right next to it. It's like, I want that,
Yeah.
because probably the earliest memories were King Kong, the 1933 original. It would be on PBS. That's where
Yeah.
we would see it.
Oh my God! I feel like we were, and it's funny. We were like off camera. We were just talking about my mom,
Right.
and that was my mom's stuff right there.
Right.
King Kong coming on TV.
And when that was on, like in those days before cable, everybody watched it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the next day, everybody had watched it.
And it was special too, almost like like people don't realize like the Wizard of Oz. They only showed the Wizard. You could only see the Wizard of Oz if like you watched it at Christmas time.
Right.
It was only that one time a year. King Kong was almost like the same.
It was a big deal.
Event when it came.
That's
on.
where we would make, like, you would make popcorn for
Oh,
that,
yeah.
which was like old school, like in the old school popcorn making. But yeah, and so that, like, those, and then like started watching the monster movie matinees, like on Saturday mornings and or Saturday afternoons and stuff, and also my grandfather, he had a 16 millimeter projector, and he would rent or check out films from the library. So like he showed us Dracula and Nosferatu, which scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. And King Kong, on reels from the library. You could check them out and everything. So
that's super cool. I never knew you could do that.
Yeah,
with the reels. That's crazy.
Yep.
I mean, that's super cool too.
Yep. So those were like my earliest things. But then at the same time as I'm discovering this is like 76, 77. Kiss was a big deal for, and you see Gene Simmons spitting blood and breathing fire, and those sort of things sort of coexisted for me. Like those were the things I was into: snakes, dinosaurs, horror, and Kiss.
Sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like it took me. I never super got into Kiss. I got a bigger appreciation for him now than I'm older.
Right.
But like I was a big a big Alice Cooper guy.
Yeah.
Like my mom and my aunt and my dad.
My aunt's Alice Cooper records. I remember discovering the Killer record for the first time, and I was like, because I had already talked about the snakes. There's a snake, and he's like, what's going on here, and everything.
Like I said, my mom and dad were real big into Alice Cooper.
Right.
And I remember my dad gave me a copy of Killer.
Right.
And like Under My Wheels was awesome. And then like later on, because I'm a child of the 80s, born in 81.
Right.
But I had older brothers who were born in the 70s, so I was getting exposed to a lot of metal.
Right.
And horror movies like way before I was probably supposed to.
Right.
And I remember my oldest brother Eric, because we all shared one room in Wilmington.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, you're some kid, like you're getting ready. I forget how old I was, going in like kindergarten, but I mean, I think Jason Lives was like getting ready to come out.
Oh yeah.
Right, or like I was maybe in the first grade or something, and he had Alice Cooper I think it's what Constrictor that had man behind the man behind the mask song on it,
Oh yeah.
and feet or not feet Teenage Frankenstein, which
Right.
was like that was my out. Like I loved Teenage Frankenstein.
That's
I
right.
think
I
that was my
forgot.
first
Before Feed My Frankenstein, there was Teenage Frankenstein. That's
Frankenstein,
right. Yeah.
based off like the awesome movie from the 60s.
Right. Right.
Or the 50s.
Shout out Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, right, yeah. Oh man. But
Mr. Landon.
but no, like I said, that was like, so I'm like, you know, super young, and it's like here's my oldest brother like trying to listen to the Alice Cooper, like, and it was like low, so he wouldn't wake my parents up, but he's keeping me and my other brother awake.
But that's funny that you say that, because I shared a bedroom with my brother Steve, and like it's almost like some of those 70s Alice albums were meant for that. Listen to it in under the covers after your parents would go, you know, because like his name's Steven, and I would play that song Steven from Welcome to My Nightmares. It was a creepy song. I mean, that was like a legitimately scary rock song, you know.
Well, that was that like when I heard because I got exposed more to like the 80s Alice Cooper,
right,
more before I got to like the 70s like Alice Cooper. But like, I mean, especially when you become a dad, right?
Yeah.
Dead Babies is a really scary song.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The way it starts out like that, just that bass, and the way and I remember like my dad would tell me about how the Alice Cooper like stage shows and what he would do.
Right.
When he would do that song, like the theatrics and stuff, I was like, man, that's super awesome, but it's super dark and creepy, and I think that song's like creepy, and again, being a dad, you're just like, I don't want to hear that.
I know.
I want to hear that song, but I don't.
I know. We're both dads, and I don't. And that my kids are both technically adults now, but I never exposed them too much to this stuff, with the exception of like Jaws and and things like that we did share. But I didn't go deep on, like, I'm not playing Slayer with my son and everything like that.
No,
but
there's only certain I have a metal mix that I listen to when I pick my son up from school.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm always very careful.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not putting like Repentless on.
Right. Right.
I'll let him listen to like Master of Puppets, but not like
right.
But
yeah, Alice. I didn't see Alice live until the Constrictor tour in 1986. But
sweet.
But the theatrics still blew me away.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I was like, oh, this is even more than this is almost like a stage production. This is more like almost like a play. And everything.
I didn't get to see. And when you said you were coming on to talk about what we're going to talk about, I was like, yes, I can't wait, because there's so many of those bands you have on that list, which we'll probably won't have time to get to them all.
Oh, of course not.
But I have so many memorable experiences, like seeing them in concert.
Oh,
it's like, now I just I'm like, I can't wait to talk about it. And so I've seen Alice Cooper 3 times. The first time I ever got to see him wasn't like until 2005.
Okay.
And it was so me and my wife went and seen him. He wasn't touring for like any album.
Right.
He was just touring, I think, just a tour. And it was at the House of Blues in Atlantic City at the Showboat, which I don't even think is there anymore.
No, I remember seeing some great shows there. I liked that venue.
I loved going there.
Yeah.
Some of two of my favorite concerts I've ever been to were at that place.
Which ones?
I got this Alice Cooper.
Right.
And I saw Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
And they were
good one that wasn't on my list, actually.
Well, they were touring for City of Evil.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm trying to the band opening for them was Bullets and Octane.
Okay.
And they were fucking fantastic. I was like, oh my god, who are these guys? These guys, they were like amazing. It was like Guns N' Roses meets like LA Guns, the way they looked.
Right,
the sound was more Guns N' Roses.
Uh-huh.
They were great. And again, Avenged Sevenfold just sounded like $1 million. I mean, City of Evil. So you got to hear all the stuff from like Chapter 4 and all that was cool. And then later on, they were hanging out in the casino.
Yeah.
So I got to meet who's the Rev, the drummer. We got to meet him and all.
Okay.
Like they were just hanging around the casino all night. We
Yeah.
got pictures with them. All super awesome guys, super nice guys. So that was cool.
Right.
But no, Alice. When I saw Alice Cooper, he did all the theatrics. I heard all the hits. And again, it was just like he did Dirty Diamonds. When he did Dirty Diamonds, he came out and he had like fake diamond necklaces, and he was shooting them in the crowd after spinning them.
He still sounds great.
Oh, he sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen him just a couple of years ago, and he was, oh man, it's still awesome. And he did Dead Babies live at that show.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah. That's great.
And he did Teenage Frankenstein, which I was like, I got to hear that song finally. That was cool. But now he was like, and he did still doing the guillotine.
Yep.
Still getting put back together in the coffin and coming out and doing School's Out for Summer.
Right.
I mean, still having the big monster come up. It was just, even if you don't like Alice Cooper,
you gotta appreciate.
You gotta go see it just for the like you said, just for the show.
Right.
The show is same thing with if he does it. I saw Rob Zombie when he was touring for Hellbilly Deluxe, the first one.
Okay.
And he had the big fun house and the monsters. It was super cool.
Yeah, saw White Zombie twice, and then I
envy you, sir.
And then I only saw Rob Zombie once, but the show was amazing. And it was like it was when Educated Horses was the album, and it was 2006. Okay, and it had already been announced that he was going to do a version of Halloween, and he had Halloween as his intro music, but he had really cool. I always like his visual style. Like he had big pictures of Frankenstein and the Mummy, show. But also transposed with American flags. It was a really cool overall style and everything. Yeah. And he had the big robots and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I love his. I was speaking about mixing hard rock. Absolutely love his movie samples in his songs and everything like that. There's some really cool samples that he uses.
Well, it's cool too to
Well, so much that I look up what movies those are coming from.
Well, that's the thing. I always try and test myself, and I'm like, all right, man, do I know where that movie's from? And I usually do pretty good, but there's a couple there's a lot of the 70s grindhouse stuff. I always all right, man, I don't know where that came from.
Right.
The horror stuff I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, that's from the movie Twins of Evil. That's from Horror Hotel, or City of the Dead, whatever. It's
when I discovered White Zombie, when La Sexorcisto came out, and one of the songs on there is "Welcome to Planet Motherfucker" or whatever.
Yes.
And it has the. I remember when I heard the sample of "Get Up and Kill" from it. I was like, "Dead on Dawn of the Dead." I immediately recognized it.
I got a funny story. And this story is from my buddy Corey, because he knows.
Oh, I know Corey.
You know Corey. Yeah. He's the because he'll know the guy I'm talking about. I had a friend back in grade school, and I won't mention him by name, because I have that much class. But I remember this was when the second White Zombie album came out, right? And him and his stepdad. His stepdad was a real cool guy. His stepdad would drive us around, because we were at the age where going to the mall was where you hung out,
right? Right.
So he would drive us around, chauffeur us and stuff, and my friend at the time, everybody was jumping on that White Zombie bandwagon when that second album came out,
right?
So we were listening to the first White Zombie album, and he was like, "Yeah, man, all these clips are from Night of the Living Dead, and the White Zombie, the second White Zombie album, all the clips are from the Dawn of the Dead." And I'm like, "No, they're not. That's not true." And if you had a friend in middle school getting like stupid arguments about stuff. Right?
Uh-huh.
This was one of those.
Yep.
And he was
where
like,
you're like, I don't know exactly what it's from, but I know you're wrong.
Well, that's the thing. That's the point. It's like,
Right.
no, that's not true.
Right.
Yes, it is. Yes, and he always called me Brew instead of Bruce. He's like, yeah, it is Brew. Brew. I know. It's in the album book. I read it. And I'm like, that's not true, man. That one, because even in middle school, I was still watching like black and white,
right,
like Universal movies, and I was like, man, that one clip's from The Mummy.
Right.
You care to find graves to open?
Yeah.
To find women, or open graves to find women you fall in love. I'm like, that's The Mummy, man. Yeah. And the one clip's from Batman, the Adam West Batman.
Yeah. Right.
He's like, nah, bro, it's from Night of the Living Dead. And all these clips and then he went through the whole thing because it's public domain. They can use it. But I'm like, dude, that clip is from The Mummy. Like, go rent the movie. We'll watch it right now. I'll show you. Like, what is this argument for? You're like, yeah, you're wrong. And that shit's from fucking Batman. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. That's just, anytime I listen to White Zombie, I just automatically.
Yeah, you go back and it's like, yeah. I love those samples. Yeah. I'm going to tell him like that Jack Black quote, you can be and are wrong.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. If he ever sees this, he'll be like, that's not how he would probably be like, it's not how it happened. But like, my friend Corey knew the guy too, and it's like, yeah, I can he's probably, when and if he sees this, he could be like, yeah, I can totally see that guy being like that.
Yeah.
Even back then.
Real quick, before we leave the childhood stuff, one of the things, I mean, of course, everybody knows the Monster Mash, and of course I had that, but I also had, and I still prefer to this day, because as a kid, I had this record. I had a record of Zachary singing some songs like Dinner with Drac and stuff like that, and I still prefer those even. Yeah. Monster Mash is great and all, but the like Zachary's like sense of humor was more witty and stuff than the Monster Mash to me.
Yeah, the Monster, I don't know, there's like the Monster Mash with the Zachary stuff, from what I've heard, there's still like, I feel like there's, maybe it's because of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's still more of like a tease of the sinister.
Yeah.
Versus like the Monster Mash is just completely hokey.
Yep. And it was great. Speaking of, you used that word sinister, like later on in the 90s or early in the 2000s, he did on the Halloween Hootenanny compilation a cover version of Creedence's Sinister Purpose. With it was Southern Culture on the Skids, but with Zachary singing it. Yeah. And it's a really great cover, too.
I gotta look that up. I'll totally look that up.
Yeah.
But getting back, like kind of referencing what you said before, like, yeah, especially like during the 80s, like I always, and I've said it on the show before, I feel like there was always like this symbiotic relationship between like hard rock and heavy metal and horror. Well, we had the soundtracks to a lot of our movies to reinforce that. Oh yeah, big time. So, I mean, let's see. We had, Alice on The Man Behind the Mask. And Prince of Darkness, too. Absolutely. Yeah, and he was in Prince of Darkness. He was in it, and he wrote the song. Yeah. Which is still awesome. Yeah. Movie and song. John Carpenter's, that's one of my favorite John Carpenter soundtracks, too. The soundtrack for Prince of Darkness. Yeah. But, it's an underrated movie. I don't know if you consider John himself as an artist, rock and roll, but he was pretty rock and roll. I mean, I totally do. Yeah. When Maybe more now. Like, that's so cool. Like, the last years he's been touring. Yeah, I love doing concerts. I loved going to see him live. It was a really cool. I have yet to, but I want. My friend Justin has. Oh man, it was at the Trocadero, and it was so packed, oversold. Like, I made the mistake. I had to go to the bathroom, and lost my spot, and I could not get. You could not squeeze a single more person back into, like, you know. No, I get it, man. I get it. I was in that, like, me and others were, like, lined up on that entry hallway, like, just getting a glimpse, you know, of it. But it was a great show. I miss that venue, and I know what you mean, because we used to go see Typo Negative Halloween night at Trocadero. That's right. And so they had a semi-regular thing in Philly? They were having the Typo Negative, I forget for how many years in a row, and there was 1 or 2 years where they didn't do it, and then they came back, and they were like literally apologizing to the crowd that they weren't there. But there was a tradition where they They used to play Halloween night at the Trocadero every year in
Wow.
Philadelphia, Typo Negative. I think for like years in a row.
Oh wow.
And it was always awesome. I think, don't quote me, but I think if you go back and you watch the video, the music video for Cinnamon Girl,
Okay.
I think that's the Trocadero.
Okay.
So,
well, that's a band I never saw, and I did not start to appreciate until much later.
Yeah.
But tell me what they were like live. Like, what was their show like?
So,
was it theatrical or just moody?
It was moody. It
Yeah.
was more moody, and I say that like it was good.
One particular show stands out when we're talking about this genre. Was I saw John Carpenter there, but I also saw Goblin there. And
nice.
that was in October. It wasn't on Halloween night, but it was in October. It was not oversold. It was very comfortably crowded, and it was just, that was like a perfect venue to see them. And it was, they played everything that you would want to hear, and they had like interpretive dancers and things, and it was like it was really cool, for sure. Goblin, watching all of those Italian horror movies in the 80s when I was growing up, and never would have imagined that I would get to see someone perform this music live in my lifetime, and everything like that. But that was great.
Like I saw Goblin. Well, it's Goblin, but I think it was like it was like 2 years ago. So it's like, can you even really? And I'm not being malicious, like
no.
What a lot of people like. I remember one time I told my friend Neil, I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to see Goblin." I was like, "Well, if you could even call that Goblin."
Yeah, there's different. I don't even know the details, of the different versions of Goblin that there are now, and or from Goblin, that are out there.
He just had that look like, yeah, okay. That's like someone telling me like they're going to see Skinnerd.
Right.
Can you even call it Skinnerd?
Good point. Good point.
But no, it was fantastic though. It was awesome.
Right.
I want to say it was. I don't know if it was Union Transfer. It might have been Union or it might have been like
Underground Arts.
Underground Arts. I think that's where we saw them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they were showing Demons, so you basically got to see like the movie Demons while they did their show.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, dude, it was awesome, man. And again, it was like, oh man, my heart skipped a beat when they went into the Suspiria stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was definitely like it was me, my wife Leela, and our friends Justin and Sarah.
Nice.
Went and see, and it was so cool. It was so fun.
Speaking of Demons, I was working in a movie theater when Demons came out, or when we got Demons. It was like, there was lots of rock and roll on that soundtrack. At least the American version of it, but it had like Accept and Motley Crue on there, and all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh man, that, and it's like one time Corey, going back to Corey again, he came on the show, and he was talking about Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, of course.
I mean, come on, man, Dream Warriors, rocking. That was still. I remember that video was like #1 for like weeks. Back when MTV was really MTV.
That's right. That's right.
And they did that cool video where like Robert Englund really. They had the people from the movie. I mean,
sure did.
Like, man, so cool.
Sure did. And then and then we had Motorhead did the Hellraiser soundtrack, and the Ramones did Pet Sematary. But the cool thing about the Ramones is they had touched on horror themes going back throughout their career, even on the Chainsaw on the first album, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Pinhead is Freaks, and they always had a little bit. And Johnny was a huge horror collector of posters and I know that like stories about when they would tour, he was so regimented, like all he would do was find where they sold the baseball cards and the horror movie posters and go flip through all the racks and look for things.
Dude, Kirk Hammett from Metallica.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever see his book? Too Much Horror Business, like that. He's so into horror stuff that they were like, "Hey, man, you want to publish a book with just your stuff?" It's like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah,
and I bought it. So,
and he's got those great guitars with a lot of the classic, really great paint jobs and everything on that. And
he's got, I don't know how big it is. I imagine it's a decent size, but he has a Franzetta commissioned Frankenstein Dracula painting.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, and it's in that book. Like, I'll
Right.
show it to you. I'm like,
Okay.
oh my God, man. Can you imagine like having enough money to be like, yeah, I got a commission piece from Zeta.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. But it was through Metallica that I got introduced to the world of the Misfits and Glenn Danzig, because I was into Metallica. 84 was a friend of mine, classic way. He's like, just gave me a tape. He's like, give me this back tomorrow. But one side had Kill 'Em All on one side and Ride the Lightning on the other side. And then I got really into them. And you would see them around that time, 84, 85, 86. Either at least one, maybe all four of them would have Misfits t-shirts on. And I'm like, what's Misfits? I didn't know. And started to get into what actually I think it may have been November Coming Fire that I listened to first, which was an odd first listen to get into, because I didn't know what I thought about it at first. And it was the sound, because I was used to chunky, loud guitars, and it was really sort of not bad, but like muted sort of guitars and different, and I wasn't sure what I thought of it. Then the second thing I got was Evil Live, and a lot of people talk about Evil Live. Oh gosh, it sounds horrible. I loved it. I loved the way it sounded. I loved how raw it was, and
that's the thing. That's the thing with that's like the real. Yeah. That's like the real punk rock.
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean, that was the Misfits, man. Like,
I loved that.
They had like no money. They were like 20 years old. They were just like going. They were. I mean, Danzig says it himself. They were just going there to play like fucking. They were just going there to fucking cause mayhem.
Yeah.
That's punk. I was 70s punk, man. They don't get enough credit, the Misfits, and like saying so. My same thing. Like I remember my older brother having Garage Inc. It had Last Caress and Green Hell on it.
Yep.
And like I was a fan of Danzig because like Mother 94, and then I went back and got the other. I never put two and two together that he was the singer of the Misfits and then Sam Hain until. Like later on, I got the T-shirt.
Would make sense, yeah.
And someone was like, "Ah, oh, man, yeah, the Misfits." And I'm like, "What are the fucking Misfits?" And then one day, my dad let me go to the store, and I was buying a couple cassettes, and there was Megadeth, Euthanasia, and I was like, "What if they got Misfits stuff? What's that?"
Yeah.
Sure enough, Legacy of Brutality on cassette, and I was like, "All right, cool."
Yep.
So I got it. And I was like, all right, yeah. And it's like the recordings and stuff like that. But I heard the song Halloween.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I love this song. And and I listened and I was listening to it and I was like, oh man, this album's really good. And I got into it. And then later on, I remember my older brother coming to me and was like, dude, check it out. And he had Collection 2. Like they just put Collection 2 on CD and tape, and he was like, "Look at this, man! Last Caress.
Yeah,
it's that fucking Metallica song.
Yeah.
Danzig wrote it." And I was like, "Gosh, like,
yeah, absolutely."
And then I had Collection 2, and then later on, I didn't get Sam Hain stuff until, I think it was like 2000. Where they finally put out a Sam Hain box set.
Right.
And I bought the box set, and I was like, oh, man, this is fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
And I was already, like I said, I was already a huge Danzig fan by then. I mean, Danzig 2 is like, to me, the greatest album ever made.
Right.
Hey, horror fans. Help support the Marvel of Horror podcast by going to our merch shop and getting one of our exclusive items. But dude, let's talk about because they're coming to the Queen.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
You want to talk about GWAR for a second?
GWAR's
horror band.
I mean, yeah, that is quite an experience. The first time I saw GWAR was when I was in college in Athens, Georgia, in '92. Melvin's opened, which was awesome.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and but of course, me and my friend got right down front, and we were soaked in every type of liquid that you could think of. But like, I remember just being, it probably between seeing Alice Cooper in 1986 and that in 92, I had not seen anyone. Oh, this is like, there's a stage set that's like has like levels. It was like a castle looking like stage set and stuff like that. And I was like, I was amazed by that. And yeah, they're quite between the costumes and all of the different effects, it is definitely a rock and horror extravaganza for sure.
I first heard GWAR back in I want to say like 95.
Yeah.
95, and I'll never forget. It was the album that had "Can You See Me" on it. It was like, "Mommy, been killing your own baby," and I'm like, "Oh, what the?" I get almost like the Misfits. It's like, hey, it's like this real upbeat kind of stuff, but these really horrible lyrics.
Right. Well, they got the humor thing going too, which is nice. Yeah.
But I saw GWAR in '99. This was back when you could get concert tickets at Boscov's.
Oh wow! No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Okay. I didn't move here until like 15 years ago, so that's interesting. You could go to Boscov's.
You used to be able to go to Boscov's. You heard me. The the retail store. And on the upper level, you could go. They would sell you concert tickets, so you could get concert tickets. And I'll never forget, like, you'd be going there like real early one day, and you'd see a huge line. And it's like, oh, someone big's coming to town. So I actually went there. I forget what band I was getting tickets for, but then there was another guy there to getting GWAR tickets.
Okay.
Like, oh man, GWAR. I was like, how much were the GWAR tickets? No bullshit, man. The GWAR tickets were like $9. It was something like, I'm pretty sure I paid in 1999 with the service fees less than $15 to go see GWAR.
Okay. Was the Troc where they would play in Philly?
I forget it was. I'm trying to remember if it was I want to say it was the Electric Factory.
Okay.
And I went with this guy. I went with a friend back then named Ian, and his two friends.
Okay.
And I remember seeing GWAR, and there was this band opening for him called Godhead.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
And they were awful.
Okay.
And Philadelphia was not kind.
To
this band.
Right.
The guy was yelling because like people were throwing like change at him, like trying to throw like nickels at him.
I could see how that would be a tough gig because people want the GWAR show.
People want GWAR.
Yeah.
People want, and that's a fan base, man. That's
right.
a diehard, niche fan base. But GWAR came out, and that's the closest you're ever going to be in an Evil Dead movie without being in an Evil Dead movie.
Right, exactly.
And I stayed. I was chicken. I stayed at the back. I didn't want to get started and shit on because
it's kind of like going to see a comedian who roasts people. You don't want. If you're going to sit in front, you need to know what you're going to expect.
Because so I remember they brought a fake Marilyn Manson on stage,
right?
And it was like the dope show,
right?
Manson, and they killed him,
right?
They cut his head off. They were spraying the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
They fought like the giant phallus,
right,
on stage. Shit, man. And like it was the classic GWAR. It was the original GWAR.
Same with me.
So
Yeah, one thing that we got sprayed with all that stuff. One of the things that I do remember, it was sort of cold, which I thought was interesting. A lot of the, well, I guess they had to
I don't
keep it.
know,
I guess they
yeah.
had to keep, or whatever. I was like, I was surprised that it was relatively cold. The liquid.
I don't know.
But
I don't know what would have. I don't know what would have freaked me out more. getting
right,
sprayed with
right,
it.
exactly.
It was like
Just
body
remember that.
temperature warmth or.
And another thing, this was one of the shows, and it happened more than once, but this was one of the shows where cops shut the GWAR show down, the one that I was at. And we made MTV News. I remember that because because the cops shut them down for indecency.
Oh my God! You were at that show.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I remember them talking.
Well, mine was in Athens, Georgia, and then he specifically was arrested because of the cuttlefish thing in North Carolina somewhere. They just shut down the whole show at mine because of everything. But he specifically was arrested in North Carolina because of his phallus or whatever. It's like, no, it's just a cuttlefish, really. But yeah, man. Great documentary if you haven't seen the GWAR doc.
I was going to ask you about that. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's amazing.
Watch it.
It's great.
On my list.
Yep.
And the fact that they would they made all that stuff. They were
that's
props.
Yep.
It was like
there's internal drama, and that gets in in the doc too. Which, hey, it happens to everybody.
Yeah. Might lose a lot of my metal cred, but always preferred Bostov. Seeing when I saw Slayer live, I always preferred him
over Dave Lombardo.
Over Lombardo.
Okay. It's funny. I've probably seen Dave Lombardo play drums equally in other bands other than Slayer.
Same.
Than Slayer. And he seems to play better when he's playing with other people. Like when I went to go see Mr. Bungle, a few years ago, it was had Scott Ian playing guitar and Dave Lombardo playing drums. Half the show almost was like metal covers. They did SOD covers. They did Slayer covers.
Wow.
Yeah, and it seemed like and when Lombardo was playing with the Misfits, he was great.
Yeah, that show, man. That was fucking awesome too, man.
Yeah, it was. I sang
Delaware
myself.
County was there.
I sang myself not the. So I saw the New Jersey show and I saw the Philly show. The first one I ever saw, and it was just one of those great things. I just took the train up to Newark by myself, didn't know anyone there. But by the end of the show, me and the guys next to me were just we were all just screaming the lyrics together, and I lost my voice the next day.
Dude, yeah. So I went with I went to the Philly show in December, and I went with my wife. I went with my friend Nicole, who was pregnant at the time. So, so technically her son went too.
Yeah, he did.
We joke about that. I was like, oh man, her son's name's Valentino. He's basically my nephew. And I'm always like, man, you know how many cool concerts you went to? You don't even know it. And I remember Corey went, but he went with his wife and some friends. And like I said, man, being in a band and knowing all these bands in Delaware County and the Delco area, whatever, they were all there.
Oh yeah.
You're absolutely. Just hey, right?
Absolutely.
Seeing all these people, and I remember Corey was texting me during the show. And he was like, dude, I feel like I'm back in your old car.
Yeah.
Listening to Misfits. Because that's, like I said, man, I had this in high school. I was the first one of the guys, because I was a year older.
Mm-hmm.
I was the first one of the guys to get a car. I had this 85 Toyota Camry. I kept blowing the head gasket out of it.
Nice.
So it always poured white smoke out the back, so we started calling it the ghost car.
There you go.
But and I had all my band stickers and back windshield, so you knew it was me. And dude, just blaring the Misfits on cassette. And it just took me back to the high school days, just driving around blaring the Misfits.
Those shows were so much fun. It was one of the Philly show. So I remember the Newark show. Different. Newark and Newark, New Jersey. Blowing my voice out or whatever. But then the Philly show was one of those where I took a peek at what I had spent using my card at that show, that oh my god, there's been a lot of cash at that. I was drinking.
Dude, I get it, man. I get it.
It was funny.
That like between that and like dude, when I went to that Testament show, I was just like, all right, man. I went to the merch table and I was like,
oh yeah, I know.
Put it on my card.
I know.
My wife's gonna kill me.
I have the same illness.
Look around.
I know. I know. It's great.
I don't know. There's nothing to see over here.
It's amazing.
Nah, dude. Like I said, there's I don't know, man. I'm getting to a point in my life where it's like all the bands I've ever wanted to see, I've seen.
Yeah.
Or they're unfortunately they passed away.
Right.
And there's not a lot of new bands coming up that I'm even really into.
Yeah. It's really true. I mean, I have to ask myself, because I love live music so much.
Very expensive.
And it is, and like I have to ask myself, okay, have I seen this band or artist before? If the answer is yes, then I have to ask the second question. Is there even a chance that they will be better this next time than when you've seen them before? Mm-hmm. And if the answer is no, I should say no. Mm-hmm. You know, still don't always do it, but that's what I try to.
It's very sound logic.
Yeah.
It's very sound logic, and that's the thing too.
But you're trying to focus on people I've never seen before. Like, you know, for example, I mean, this has nothing to do with horror, but this next Friday, I never saw ZZ Top. I love Billy Gibbons' guitar playing. I'm going to go see him just because I've never seen him.
That's awesome. Yeah. Guns and AC/DC are probably one of the only real bands still around that I haven't seen that I'd like to see Anthrax again. I've only seen them one time with Belladonna, and they were great. I'd probably see them again. Metallica, I'll probably always go see.
Right.
Because they sounded, I seen them a couple years ago when they were touring for 72 seasons. It was amazing.
Okay. Yeah.
Other than that, man, I think Danzig I might officially retire from.
I know. I
don't want to, but
I saw 2 of the Misfits shows. I don't know that I need to see another one. I don't know. Let's see. If he announced a show in Philly, I would probably, you know, I kind of am kicking myself that I missed the Atlantic City, him doing Lucifuge.
That's the last. So that's the last. So the last time I seen him, was two. I want to say it was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he did the first Danzig album.
Oh yeah.
And it was great. It was fantastic. He sounded great. He looked great. Yeah. So I seen him. I've seen Danzig, I think, 12 times.
Okay.
I've got to see I saw the Lucifuge show, but I went to Vegas.
Oh, cool.
As a 40-year-old, this is how awesome my wife is, guys. When I turned 40, which was almost 5 years ago, my wife took me to Vegas.
Nice.
To see Danzig because he was going to do Lucifuge. So I got to see that. Got to see him do first Danzig album.
Nice.
I got to see him tour for the Lost Tracks, so I got to hear some Lost Track songs. I got to see that tour.
Man, I love those songs.
I got to hear a couple of them songs live.
That's great.
I seen him tour twice for Red Death Sabbath, so I got to hear a bunch of that stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome album. I got to see him tour for 777.
Yeah.
I got to see him tour for Circle of Snakes. I saw him on that Black Laden Crown tour.
Right. Okay.
And I got to see a couple of the Blackest of the Black Fest. So I got a nice Danzig.
You got more. Yeah.
So I think if he told me tomorrow he was gonna do, I'm gonna do an anniversary Danzig 3. I'm like, all right, man, I gotta go. I'd have to go see it. But I got to see a lot of Danzig, so I don't know if I really, because he's getting older.
Oh yeah.
So I want to remember him how he was.
Right.
I don't want him coming sounding like how some of them albums sound.
I know. Yeah.
I know. I love, and people like, Oh, a couple of my friends. My friend Dave's always like, dude, you sound like you rip on Danzig all the time. Man. How's
Well,
like your favorite band? I'm like, dude, he is, but he gives
that's
me a
the
lot. He
thing.
gives you a lot of ammunition.
Yeah, the real
Hope
fans.
he never sees this.
The real fans dwell on their stumbles as much as their and everything. Yeah, for sure.
I live near Philadelphia, and I'm a wrestling fan. So I'm a very harsh critic of.
Right.
So I was a wrestling fan.
Right.
So I'm a very harsh critic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I might check out that GWAR show. How do they sound at not being the original lineup?
That's going to be a surprise to me because I have not seen them since the new singer, and I haven't listened to any of the recorded outputs. So I know it's certainly let me take that back. Aside from the live clips that they showed in the documentary, which was certainly passable, but it's not exactly, Odorous had this, because he came from punk background, a certainly more punk delivery. Like he was a little, his voice tone went a little Jello Biafra even at some points. And this is more of a traditional, like kind of a metal singer, but it should be a great show nonetheless.
I mean, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, I'll tell you, dude, Static X, they're like around now, and you'd never even know that it's not Wayne Static.
Oh no!
And they sound fucking great.
It's amazing how many bands are able to pull that off these days.
Alice in Chains.
Yeah, really.
I remember when I forget his name, but I remember when that guy first came on the scene as their who was the single? Was it California? Hold on. Check My Brain, I think the song was called.
Okay.
But that I was like, oh my god, man, it sounds just like Lane Stanley. This is fucking amazing.
Right. Yeah.
A friend of mine saw them when they first toured. He was like, he's a big Alice in Chains fan. He was actually drummer in Black Hand for a long time.
Oh,
okay. Band I was in. Mike Hardwood. He was like, dude, when they came up, man, I didn't think I was gonna like it because it's not Lane Stanley. And it's like, yeah, okay, dude, you sound like it, but you're still a lot on the defensive. He's like, dude, I cried. It sounds so good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think getting some bands choose not to get the guy that sounds like the other guy.
Right.
But sometimes I think if you can do it right, if you do it justice, you can pull it off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, this has been fun, Bruce.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Dude, well, dude, hope you come back.
Don't tempt me with a good time. I would love to. Yeah.
Yes. Well, Dan, I want to thank you for coming by.
My friend.
Great having you.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you again next time on the Marvel of Horror podcast. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Find us on Instagram. Like, subscribe. Leave your comments. You want to be on the show, drop us a line. And stay scary, stay safe.
Thanks.